Okay.
E36, I'm filtered, aka the unfiltered room with Mr. E. Gray. Introducing all the latest names and the latest news. Hottest take, he the new face, yeah, the new sound. But keep it old school and raw interviews from local athletes, even digging off and entertainment too. Own style, he got his own lane, it's unfiltered out, we keep it raw, man. New content to keep the people ready. E36, no Jerome Betty, it's real dialogue and real conversations. You keep it real, but we real. Mr. E. Gray in the building. E36, I'm filtered.
All right, what's up, everybody? How you doing? It's your boy E. Gray one more time here on the platform E36 Unfiltered Podcast, guys. We have a special guest for tonight, you guys. Something I'm very excited about, man, because it has been a something just kind of something that's happened, man. But it's been a person that I haven't followed for a long time, growing up a young tight. You know what I'm saying? That pretty much really brought the relevancy for me back to the University of Alabama. Before I get there, guys, we're gonna go ahead and first co-host who's sitting on the screen, ready to rock and roll with it, man. Once again, back on the platform with my man Faulkner University former ball player Chris James. How we doing?
Good, man. Always glad to be on.
I hear that. I hear that, man. That's what's up. That what's up. So we're gonna get a great show for you guys today, man. If we're ready to get it started here, before I do that, I want to make sure I'm gonna go with some quick little accolades, man, for our guest. As he come up on, if I bring him on here, gotta give him his proper introduction. Only way to do it right. So, this guy, man, was a actually came down to University of Alabama, from New York, guys, from New York. My man was a three-time, three straight Section One Class A bowl winner at his high school, North Rockland High School. Also ended up setting the county record at that time for 1,719 rushing yards, 31 touchdowns, 26 of them rushing, and 100. He pretty much compiled 194 points. All right. Not only was he a baller out there of New York, guys, he's all-state guy, a USA Today High School All-American. All right, finished his career with over 2,800 yards of rushing, and then went into the University of Alabama, accepted a full scholarship at the University of Alabama. Then was a part of the 1992 National Championship team, where he also was awarded the MVP of the 1993 Sugar Bowl of the defeat of the Miami Hurricane, 34-13, of course, in the national championship. And also 11th ranked all time on a school rushing record with a 1,696 yards. All right, all time rushing list. A man who eventually went to the Cowboys, and where he also won a Super Bowl with the Dallas Cowboys. So, you're a Cowboys country, guys. A man introducing none other than Derrick Lassic. How we doing, man? All right, we're still working that volume form. So got a little issue with the volume. Give me a few moments here so we can tap back in. All right, so right now we got a little issue with the volume going on his end, but we're gonna get him back. Well, let's still have you on the screen for us. Let you work on that for a moment. He will get you right back into that volume aspect of it. But anyway, we're gonna jump into the thing. Guys, we're not gonna take much of your time. All right, that's the time. I want to get underway. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Get it?
Let's get it.
Let's get it. Let's get it. All right. So what we got today, man? This is gonna be. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it, man. This has been a very interesting week as we have started off this week with everything that's going on, from the quarterback problems, guys, to just Alabama really not having, just not looking like the Bama standard that we are used to. They was able to come out the gate and pull out a victory this past week against the South Florida team, which in Tampa on the road, and into unbelievable downpour. But as we all know, 17-3, it was not an Alabama performance, guys. It is a struggle that we haven't seen, didn't expect, and we was in for a dogfight. Never really felt like the game was in jeopardy of being lost, but we're like, okay, this don't look good. Now, I'll talk about something real quick. Alabama receivers that aren't creating enough space, enough in separation. The offensive line is allowing too much pressure in the backfield, whether it's even running the game or the running game is inconsistent. Getting the snaps from the center that turned into an official rather than a formality. The running game is inconsistent at best. Players across the board are committing uncharacteristic penalties, too many penalties, and the offense as a whole really doesn't appear to really have a sense of identity or direction. Now, Alabama at this point in time actually find themselves outside the top 10 in the Associated Press poll for the first time in 8 years, almost a decade. The Christmas Tide absence,
Yeah,
from the playoff conversation is also something that is very alarming. That hey, this may be it's not even being in the conversation now. And while it's unfair to pin all the blame, of course, on the quarterback, I don't want to make sure we're not going to do that. A critical eye has to start looking at different aspects of the position. That it's important that this is word that is out here. Um, Seeing how the sharp
I
decline
agree.
has
I
typically.
agree, Ken.
What's that? Go ahead.
It did. I was looking at Ken and said he felt like a loss to him regardless of the win.
Yeah,
This ain't Alabama. This ain't Alabama ball.
it definitely gave that feel, man. Definitely gave that feel, which was like really shocking. Like, wait, what's going on, man? This ain't what we do. Now,
Bro.
what I'm gonna pull into, you got Tom. You talking about going from Jalen Hurts to Tua Tagovailoa. You talking about going from there to Mac Jones to Bryce Young to this. It's like, wait, what, bro? What are we? What's going on? What's happening? So Kenneth, I right with you on that, man. It did feel like a
Right.
loss. Now, but I don't want to prolong it any longer. I'll make sure my man Lass, you getting in? You good? Are we rocking right now? Okay, we're gonna be gathering, getting him on in here. All right, give me just a few moments, guys. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start the question, Chris. I'm gonna let you jump it off with some of our first questions that we're gonna have here. Again, coming out the gate. Again, we talked about the recap. We're gonna talk about Colorado as well, and what that 3-0 start really looks like and what it really is. Um, Overall thoughts, man. What's your thoughts on the Alabama win this past weekend, and what's your defensive highlights, offensive highlights about it, and from a price standpoint, again, what's some of the parts you like? Man, this is not looking good.
Well, I'll say this: we only had 5 penalties for 35 yards. Um,
That is a good. That's a
I,
positive. Okay.
you know, outside of that, I mean, man, it's this was that game where you felt like we talked about it last week. It was like, okay, they gonna start off strong, but in the end, it's just gonna be too much for them.
Yes.
And we didn't get a touchdown to the third quarter.
Mm,
And so it's like, is this really? I mean, it's looking like, okay, is this really what we're dealing with right now, for as the offense is concerned? And you can say, okay, yeah, we gave some quarterbacks some other chances to get in there, but still, though, even with that, we, like you said, you got to look at overall the line, the receivers, everything is just like it was not coming together like it should. Um, and when you look back far as in the past, it's almost now we're looking at the quarterbacks we had before. We had very elite top quarterbacks. And we talked about this in regards to some things that were weaknesses of Alabama that may not have been exposed as much because of the elite play.
yes. Yes.
And right now, where we are right now, we need elite play from a quarterback, or we need a line that's going to help kind of balance out. Because right now we get ate up. We talked about how the size of the O line, everybody, 320 plus, and we get yeah, and they
Huh.
getting exposed. Like, I mean, they can barely get their feet out the ground.
Period.
And we talking about against South Florida. No one expected for them to even think they had a chance after the second quarter.
Yes. True. True.
We didn't. I mean, let's go back. We didn't even get a field goal to the second quarter. They shut us out first quarter of the game. They shut us out. So it's not really a whole lot we can say other than no turnovers, penalties, and yet we still control the game in regards to the possession time. But everything else, we got a lot of work that needs to take place.
I definitely agree. I definitely agree on that. So Derek, let me make sure have we got a chance to get you back in with the volume and everything? We good?
Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, sir. We got you. We
There it
got you.
is.
We got you in
All
here.
right, then.
I'm gonna allow
Man.
you to chime in on that. Then I'm gonna pose a question about the quarterback situation and everything all in general. Before I get there, I'm gonna bring up some. I'm gonna talk about our old line compared to what it was last year and this year. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I have not seen Tyler Booker. Am I missing him? I'm not seeing it. He's number 52 unless he didn't change the number. Ferguson is number 69, and
Yeah.
I'm saying this because we got only place we'd have got McLaughlin. Our center was a starter last year. Booker was started last year. Partly ended up being a more time starter last year. Um, of course, JC Latham was a starter last year. My man, Doc Court was very much in the rotation this year. Only players we really don't have that we had last year was Emi Yoker, and I think we lost Alan Steen, graduated from Vanderbilt. So, we it's like we ain't the biggest change we have is Proctor. Proctor is
Yeah,
the
well,
biggest change we had. Go ahead.
Ferguson was beat out by Proctor, so they say. The last game Booker was hurt. Number 52 was hurt. The right
Okay,
guard.
that's why. Cause I see them
Left
69
guard.
in there. Ferguson starting. I'm like, where would he come from?
Yeah. Yeah. They said it was supposed to be a better offensive line. If 74 is better than Ferguson, I'd like to see it. I know he's the number one tackle in the country. Um, and I think he's going to be a great player. He's just not there yet. So, you
Yes.
got to go with who. I think sometimes them being so highly recruited, some promises are being made. Uh, we don't like to think Nick Saban would do something like that, but he flipped him at the last minute. Everybody thought he was going to
Yes.
Iowa. So
Yes.
something must have been said to him to make him, flip.
To make that
That's what I
something.
think.
Something. So let's get into the elephant in the room. We all know what that is. The decision to discuss the Saban decision to replace Miro and set him for this entire game, to give Tyler Buckner and Ty Simpson a serious look at how they could operate the offense, if it any better or any worse. I for one feel like it was a if he's gonna make that type of move, this was the best time and the only time that he could do it before we got into real play, conference play. And in that same time, I felt like it was not only to be able to see if they could actually take the reins of the offense, but also if not, okay, we can quickly see who's gonna be playing for the second string, third string quarterback. What did you guys take on the overall his process for doing that? And do you feel like it was a decision that can come back and bite him in the butt, or you think it was necessary?
Well, he is the GOAT, right? They call him the GOAT. So, it's hard to question any decision that he makes. I've never
Mm-hmm.
coached before, but if it was I was in that situation and we're playing UCF, it wasn't like we were playing Old Miss or Texas A&M or somebody like that, where
Mm-hmm.
the quarterbacks could get in there and really show what they can do against a quality opponent.
Yes.
I would have let Milrose start the first half, right? Take care of his business like I thought he would. If he struggled, then you have the second half to bring the other quarterbacks in.
Mm.
Um, I don't know. The rumor is he got in some trouble or something, and there was a punishment. But I don't know exactly
Okay.
why he was benched. I don't know if that rumor is true or not.
Okay. Okay. Chris, what's your take on that? What's your take on the movement, his decision, and how that worked out?
I mean, I agree at the same time. I really can't argue the decision. We talked about it, like I said, I thought maybe Milrow might get a quarter, and then after that, it was going to be you know, Ty Simpson and Tyler Buckner.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at it though, overall, this was the best opportunity, and I think probably the only opportunity we had, and especially with the overall play. This is not just a quarterback. It's not just a quarterback issue.
Yes.
The thing is, people understand is again, like I said earlier, the past few years we had some raw, talented, elite players um, between Tua, Jalen, and Bryce. Mac Jones, and I think you might have mentioned it, but
Yeah.
he developed,
Yes. Yes.
but
Yeah.
but this is the thing though, he even when we were like, man, I wish he gunned it sometimes, he always just made smart decisions and played it safe before, saying we saw him throw an interception.
True. Sure.
You
Yeah.
know, and it would irritate us sometimes, but guess what? He made sure that he didn't lose the game for us.
Never.
That was one of the main things I noticed about McDonald. Heck, he made sure that he kept us in the game, that it wasn't on him for any mistakes, issues. If he only gonna throw it, check it down, he gonna check it down and leave it at that. So we look at this game here, and it's like, okay, this is the perfect opportunity to see what we got, see what kind of play we'll get from Ty, we'll get from Tyler. Obviously, I think Ty had the better game, and it's still we still looking at it. Okay, who's the best of what we got though? You know, and I feel like right now it probably is Melrose.
Well, I'm a student of the game. I don't just watch the game as a fan. I'll watch the game
Right.
on Saturdays with people over. And then on Sundays, I'll watch the game over like I was watching it when I played,
Okay.
studying and different things of that nature. There were several, I count about 6 or 7 bad snaps that Milroe had to deal with. He was getting pressure the whole game. He rarely had more than 3 seconds to throw the ball. He did throw 2 bad passes. I watched the game Sunday, and Bryce Young threw the exact same pass directly to the DB. So interceptions are going to happen. You're going to have those growing pains. Tua, Jalen Hurts, Matt Jones, they had elite receivers.
Right.
I don't think we have elite receivers on the outside, and they had a decent offensive line. So he was throwing to better receivers. They were getting open, and they had better protection. So, I think it's a combination of things. I think Milrose is the guy. I'm pretty sure our fans should know that now, because he gives us the best chance with the offensive line being
What it
shaky
is.
as they are. He can evade some of the rushes and things, but he just can't turn the ball over. That's something I feel if he can do, and avoid some, and the receivers can get open and not drop balls, I think we'll have a decent season.
Right.
And now, okay, when you speak of decent, give me your expectation of decent. Is that a West Division champs and potentially get a chance to compete for the SEC championship, or are you saying, because for Alabama, anything more than a 3-loss season is
Well,
the sky is falling.
Alabama
Yeah.
standards for decent season is at least going to the SEC championship. Whether or not we make it to the playoffs is another thing, but at least going to the SEC championship.
Okay, I can rock with that. I can understand it, and the reason why I asked that question, because I'm looking at the aspects of, man, these are, and I bring up another quick note that I've came across, and this is kind of alarming to me. It's some, because they didn't put their name on it, but it was some SEC coaches that quickly talked about how they see Bryce, how they see Miro. They talked about how they see him as a player with unlimited level of skill. Talent, but not a lot of skill. That a question that they put pretty much pressure on him, that he's not. They don't trust that he can examine the field and read the full field scope. And the reason why I bring that up and why that's so important, because our line, we talked about, we struggled to really establish a running game the last 2 to 3 seasons, you know what I'm saying, to really have a consistent running game. Now, a lot of that has been due to the fact that leaned so much on a skill set of Bryce, but he covered up a multitude of sin, because what he had to build to do was be able to get back there and quickly dissect the offense, and he knew how to throw the receiver open. I think we are, some of us, again, not seeing those platform, I believe a lot of people is, like, to me, when I speak about it, when I look at the quarterback situation, I'm looking at, okay, if you don't have a great offensive line, when he does have great, decent protection, is he getting the ball out of his hands, or you can see that he's like a deer in headlights? It was quite a few times that we know Tyler Buckner. That's what I want to be clear. Tyler Buckner, no, he made the transfer. He can't never touch the field to me. But that's a whole other thing. Digress, young man. Ty Simpson, okay, he got some chance from here. But when I look at Miro, I agree with you, Derrick. I think he give us our best chance to win with what we have. Now, that's not saying a whole lot, but even when that happens, does he know how to get the ball out of his hand? Do he understand, okay, I don't have much time, I got to speed my mental clock up. And at this point in time, it's so unfortunate that his mental clock right now is it's not fast enough for the lack of line that we have. And you can see he has a great deep ball, but you can see his struggle is the intermediate to short routes of really putting when
Right.
it calls you the time, or when you don't got much of a window to stick the ball in and make a decision. And I think but you can see he had those spurts in that Texas game where we needed to drive. Heck, he found a way to get it. He found a way to do that and do just what we needed. But again, like, you have those times where we're like, okay, what are you doing? But when you run with conviction. Get out there, give it all you got, run. And I even look at that aspect as that's what I'm afraid of. Our receivers, I think they're better than they were last year. Last year they was young. A lot of them was freshmen outside of Burton and Ja'Cory Brooks. But I feel like now in this position, if we can get our system down, or better yet, do him more justice in this case of we got to get that running game established, man. Did you know it? Jay Barker was not the most elite quarterback at all, but he didn't have to win us games
Yeah.
because you got with Saran Stacy, it was we're gonna smash mouth, then we're gonna play action. Now it opens the field entirely up. One thing that I see is gonna be, I'm concerned about it being a struggle when they understand, like, okay, we ain't worried about him we ain't worried about him throwing the ball really and being a threat to that in that area. We're gonna just stack the line and make them have to pass the ball, put the ball in his hands. That part of it be concerned, and that's the reason why I even asked that question. What do you guys feel is our ceiling expectation this year? Again, I agree. It should be SEC championship, but I don't know. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little skeptical about where we're gonna be at, man.
I,
Or
I'm waiting for some leaders to step up on the team. Like it doesn't seem like we got that. Who's gonna step up on the defense side, you know, and say, okay, it's on me. Saying we got to get better.
Mhm.
Same thing with the offense. Quarterbacks are young. We got what Jermaine Burton is a senior. Jason McKellen is a senior.
Yes.
Who else is a
You gonna
senior?
tell my lineman?
Malachi Moore is a senior. You know, we got. I'm looking for. I haven't seen anybody say, put it on their shoulder, say, okay, look, I'm stepping up my play. I'm living up my play. I want y'all to level up to me.
Mhm.
You know, so and I think we lack in some of that leadership that we had in past years.
Now, this is my question. I think something we'll look at. I want to look at this as well. Now, we talk about the offense. It's clear to what our offense is doing and not doing. But I want to shine some light on this. Our defense has improved. We have seen some. If we really look at the nutshell, because there's no team just been, not over time. We put us even Texas game. We put them in a bad situation a lot of times, red zone, uh, picks and things like that, turnovers. Those things put them in a bad situation where they had to hold up or they had any type of slip up. Boom, it's busting. Now I expected Caleb Downs to being the freshman that he is, even though he's going to be a great player for us, to have a small issues here and there, a couple of mental laps. But I think I also give a shout out to that defense, man. My coach, he was there when I was there as well as a D coordinator. My man, Coach Steele. You can see they came out popping. The defense has been holding up. Now I will say the defensive line, as far as Dallas Turner, has been a bit underwhelming at best over the last few games. Now this South Florida game, he showed up and kind of hit some spurts and gave us what we've been looking for out of him. But for the most part, man, I would have to say our defense has not. I haven't been disappointed into what I have seen out of our defense. Now, he have times where we have some mental lapse and things. Terry Arnold had a good feast and famine type of game, But overall, man, I was pretty pleased with that, with what we saw out of them. So, do you guys feel the same? Do y'all feel that our defense has been overshadowed by the woes that our offense is dealing with?
I think so. There's a couple of things I want to hit on.
Go
One,
ahead.
Malachi Moore is one of the guys that I really enjoy watch playing because he plays with emotion.
Oh yeah.
Now, Caleb Down, he came up on that running back. He came up full speed now. So, that happens.
He
Sometimes
gave everything he got.
he get the best use, but at least he came up full speed, with some conviction.
I give you
And
that.
then we have to watch what the coaches are saying in the league, as you said about the quarterback. That's always been code for black athletes or melanated quarterbacks do not know how to read defenses. Okay. So, I'm pretty sure as he gets older, they said the same thing. He reminds me a lot of Lamar Jackson Milroe, When Lamar Jackson was a freshman at Louisville, they saw he's a great athlete, he can't read defense, But working with the coach, what's his name, Paterno, that's at Texas A&M, Petrino. Working with Petrino, he developed. He developed and became what he is today. I mean, he's not a traditional passer, but Milroe is the dynamic is Lamar Jackson. And you heard it here first. I believe before he leaves Alabama, people are going to be very pleased with the way he performed at that quarterback position.
I give you that.
We have no dogs on the.
No, I give him that too. I feel like he's got all the tangibles, and it's gonna take some development. You know, I definitely agree, and I think for the Alabama fans, it's a kind of an adjustment of what they've been used to over the past few seasons. You know, we're back kind of to that. Got to coach a quarterback, develop him a little bit more, make sure his mechanics are still good, getting his feet set where he's throwing the ball, watching that elbow, you know, all these different things where, you know, we've in the past few seasons, and like you said too, with the better wide receivers. So this is, I think, is a shock for everybody. But you know, when it comes down to for us the season goes, it's like, you know, everybody's like, okay, what are we going to do? What is Bama going to do? Are we going to get there to the SEC championship? You know what? And that's why I think everybody's kind of in this little frantic mode, because that's what they want to see. At the end of the day, you know, they want to see us in the championship.
Well, you know, to me, I think they haven't been playing to their strengths. They talked all season about, you know, enforcing their will on people. Well, enforcing the will, that's running the ball. They haven't been running the ball. And maybe Texas made them get away from it a little bit because, you know, they got the lead and we had to go into the little passing mode. But if we can establish the run, which I think they're capable of establishing the run, I think the run will help us with pass protection. I think we're going to struggle a while on pass protection until we can find the right 5 or 6 guys in the front to give Milroe some protection. But when we get it, it's going to be, you know, lights out. I think it's going to be
doubt. No doubt. That's
a good point to segue into that Ole Miss.
Yeah. I can get the Ole Miss. All right, look. You know what? I like your hint. Give me one more. I got more scenario for you guys. With this struggle, with this current struggle that we're showing, do you feel this is going to be a way for other teams to use? Because I think the sky is falling is not that case. All right. And the reason why I say that, because people got to remember, we still have a true freshman on the bench, which was the number 2 rated quarterback in Dylan Longan, who has shown tremendous upside and even coming in this summer, or came in through the spring. Then of course for 2020, for this upcoming 2024, we have Julian Sands from California. Number one, he has locked down the number 1 quarterback in the nation for the class. So as much as, again, I'm not saying this, trying to look ahead, but people wonder, okay, man, what's left in the cupboard? Are we that bad? No, I think it is more so an aspect of we want to work with what we don't work with. Right now, I don't think they want to push a Dylan in there and ruin him or mess him up, or better yet, Milroe, like I said, this guy know the system, man. It's just gonna, like I said, it's gonna take a little time. And like you said, you look at Mac Jones. Mac Jones was able to sit for up to his last year. You know what I'm saying? Where he didn't have to worry about playing. He had to get a chance to learn and soak in the system, understand and learn from these great quarterbacks ahead of him. Whereas, yes, Bryce Young, I mean, he had that with Bryce Young, but he's just a sophomore, and now he's prime ready in there, man. So I want people always keep in mind how tough of a position this is to play this quarterback position at the University of Alabama with such high expectations. If he was anywhere else, for the most part, it's like, okay, cool. We just glad we see within 2 years, man, he gonna be ready. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, you don't get that Alabama, but I want to make sure also, and I said all of that to say, do you guys feel like this will be a any glaring or downward look on Alabama ability to develop quarterbacks who may not come in just already ready to start day one like we have had in the past with a Tua, with a Bryce Young? Do you feel that they can use that as, okay, maybe we ain't got no good developers, so some of these quarterbacks that we have committed, I may not want to come here?
Well, I'm going to tell you like this. If you don't have an offensive line that can stop the defense, it's going to be hard for any quarterback to throw the ball. Bryce Young was gifted. He was able to shift out of the pocket, and he kept his eyes down the field. He was seasoned. He was taught that during junior high school and high school. Milrose wasn't taught that.
That's my point.
Something he's going to have to learn. But I don't care who plays quarterback. Like me and Curtis Brown were having an argument during the Texas game. I said, he has no time. Tom Brady couldn't do anything with the time that he's getting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he threw one bad pass. So what? Tua threw some bad passes. Jalen Hurts threw some bad passes. Everybody thinks that they had great games all the time. They just remember the championships. But they had a couple of games that we questioned. Man,
No,
what
absolutely.
you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you're putting too much on this kid. It's easy to blame the quarterback. They get too much blame, you know, when things go wrong, and they get too much praise when things go right. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
I mean, I think I really, and I've been around football for. He has the most upside of any quarterback we've ever had at Alabama. He's got stuff that you can't.
Whoa!
He's got stuff.
Whoa.
He's got the intangibles you can't teach. Now he's got a stronger arm than everybody.
More than Jalen?
Oh, his arm is way stronger than Jalen.
What?
Strong,
I think he may be stronger.
It's a flick of the wrist with Milrow.
He's faster than Jalen. He's bigger than Jalen. He just has to learn to read. And listen, I remember when Jalen used to roll to the right all the time when he got in trouble and just throw the ball up. You know, that was what he did. People don't remember that. I remember that.
You know? Okay, look. So this, I'll tell you. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
So what I was talking about is, and yes, those are facts. And I want to make sure we don't the people mistaken that saying talking about Miro. I'm talking about our entire quarterback room. Do you feel that also can be like, okay, because you said Bryce Young learned this stuff in junior high and high school. So by the time he got to Bama, he was pretty much handmade ready. It was all about him just waiting his time. Yeah. So what I'm saying, do you think that other college recruiters can see at Bama don't know how to develop quarterbacks unless they come ready to go? You know, do we look at that because he may be a prime example as well as Ty Simpson potentially? You know, I'm asking that question. Do you guys think overall quarterback coaching, quarterback development can be shown as a weakness at the University of Alabama if they're not coming in almost ready?
Well, we have to see who the coordinators are. You know, Bryce Young and them had different coordinators. This coordinator coming in, I don't really know much about him and how he developed quarterbacks, but they're going to have to start looking. If I'm a quarterback coming into college, I'm looking at the coordinator and how he develops or helps a quarterback develop along his 3 or 4 years at college.
Right.
You know, so
because it's the overall system that you build around the quarterback that you
perfectly fine. Absolutely.
And that at the end of the day, that's the whole setup. If I'm a quarterback, I'm looking at the system.
And Alabama's system hasn't
what are we
changed,
doing?
So everybody's putting it on the offensive coordinators, but their offensive coordinators have to come in and learn Alabama's system. So it's not like, you know, people, offense coordinator.
It's not just cut and dry.
Yeah, it's Bama's system. They, you know, I mean, you have some people that are more creative, and it's really Lane Kiffin's system. He's the one that brought that system to Bama when he came. You know, before that, we were 3 yards in a cloud of dust, old school style, because our defense was so solid. You know what I'm saying? It was Ingram, it was Henry. You know what I'm saying?
Right. We had a fullback in there. Get that fullback in there and get that I formation going. Yeah.
All
right, guys.
From Mobile, he ended up playing with the Tennessee Titans. Flower.
Oh, Fowler, Johnson Fowler.
Yeah.
Fullback.
Big old full. You know, them days are gone. Okay.
Yeah, let's go right now. Definitely are. All right, guys, we're gonna move to that next one here real quick, guys. Let's talk about the Ole Miss. And we talk about Kiffin. Great way to segue right into Kiffin, man. Saban versus Kiffin right now, with a new record against his Saban assistants. It's now 28-3. It was 28-2, but it lost a couple of weeks ago to Sark. And now is this a new era, a new opportunity for them to take advantage of the fact that Saban got a little leak in the building? So let's talk about the Ole Miss matchup. They're playing them this coming up week, and you know if you Saban, if you Kiffin, you know he is licking his chop, understanding. Look, we can take our chances because right now we don't think they have an identity of what they're gonna be or where they're gonna go. What's your take on that?
We already know how Ole Miss get down. They finna be slinging that ball all over the place.
Super Bowl. It's their college playoff right here.
Right. And Dart, I mean, the man almost got 1,000 yards already.
Woo.
And he got over 200 yards rushing. So
God.
I think, as a matter of fact, he leading the team rushing. Man, so you talking about a dual threat. It's gonna be I think it's gonna be real interesting. We talk about how great. Now you said it. You said you like how our defense been playing. Like this gonna be like one of the real tests because just like how Texas came at us, you already know Ole Miss finna do the same thing. They not finna let them boys
Yeah.
even take a huddle. It's finna get line. It's finna get line up. You know, you better have that call ready to go. That's why I was saying somebody got to step up because we can't have two. We can't have the whole team looking to the sideline trying to get a call in. We have to have somebody
Now,
come in and
yes.
look, bro. That killed us at when we played Texas, and you know Kiffin's gonna be doing the same thing.
Oh yeah.
But the difference is Texas has four guys that are going to be playing on Sunday. I don't think Ole Miss has that many guys that'll be playing on Sunday playing receiver. They have one guy that's pretty good, and I think the equalizer is going to be Pete Golden. I was never a Pete Golden fan when he was at Alabama. So they scored
Welcome to
20.
the party.
Pete Golden's defense is going to give up 40, even against Alabama's offense who's struggling.
Yes, yes. We, you know what, and that, that's going to be the thing. Now, I believe again, as much as we are seeing the issues on the offensive side of forming that identity. One thing we've always been able to do against when it comes to Ole Miss is run that ball. I think we're gonna have to really get back committed, and I think this is something. Your man Kenneth Lee. Shout out to Kenneth Lee, man. Thank you for staying tuned in as well. One thing we always speak about is we gotta be able to, and I spoke about this in one of my posts, is we gotta be able to create. Tommy Reese and Saban, whoever is, got to create a system now that's catered to his skill set. There's no more question about who's our quarterback or who give us the best chance, whether you like it or not. We know that is Miro. So, and with that being said, we got to utilize his legs more, get some more rollouts. That's dropped by a good percentage from in 2021. I think it was 2021. It was 7.3% of that time, and now it dropped all the way down to 3%. Now this year is even less with a quarterback who is definitely not meant for to be in the pocket, especially with our offensive line. So you got to get him, like I said, outside that pocket, guys, creating things and being willing to use his legs. And that'll help us be able to establish not only because again, a quarterback like himself, you spoke about it. His Derek, you said about his ceiling. I mean, the guy is one of the fastest players on the entire team. That's saying a lot. And he's at the quarterback. That's unaccounted for. He's a mismatch. You're a mismatch. At that speed, you're a mismatch for D-line, definitely, linebackers, and most time you're unaccounted for. So I think that is an opportunity where we got to seize that into that to be able to handle the business because we got to form that identity. Like you said, you got stepping up and seeing some leaders, man, instead of talking about it, being about it. Again, Kenneth was talking about it's one thing to say you want to play with Bama pride, but it's one thing to know how to do just that. And having some dogs out there that's going to show that. So, with that being said, man, I'm expecting to see the biggest thing is our secondary gonna get challenged. I'll say that. I'm only thing I'm a little nervous about. I feel like cornerbacks and everything can hold up, but I am a bit concerned about our lack of communication or continuity with having a true freshman back there because they're gonna, like you said, Kiffin's gonna do things to try to create confusion, create miscommunication, motions here and there, left and right. That's what he do. He love to get out there and do probably too much, but that's what he do. And get that going now one thing I want to speak about is you guys talked about it's a good segment. You guys talked about having leaders step up, and being able to connect with the players and things of that nature. Is there a chance? Because like I said, this something I'm hearing quite often. Find them dogs. Who the leader? Who gonna step up? Who gonna say, hey, we can get the call in for defense. Forget that. This is what we're going with. Everybody get into position. Let's go. Um, are we having? Is there maybe a potential Saban having losing the connection with these players because he is getting older. He's in his 70s now. Do you feel this is maybe a beginning stage to see of Saban not being able to know how to get that it factor out of these players, or and really understanding the Bama standard, or is it just a or is it just kind of a hiccup in the moment?
Saban, I think what makes him so great, he's a forward thinker. So he kind of adjusts his demeanor and the way he talks and treats the players, compared to when he was first there, when he first got there. He's not as hard. You don't see him as mean and yelling as much as he used to at the players. He understands they're different caliber players, right?
Mm-hmm.
As far as creating an offense that will suit Milroe's skill set, it's going to be hard because of the offensive line being so big. When a guy has a skill set like that, you got to have linemen that are mobile, that can move out when he's rolling out. You know what I'm saying? You don't want him rolling out with nobody protecting him. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You're going to have a guard that has the agility to get out there and give him some protection, so he can either run it or throw it. And as far as a leader, I think if Miro knows that he's the man now, right? So now
Yeah.
he's got a little more confident. He's not constantly looking over his shoulder. Am I going to get yanked? How long am I going to be the starter? Okay, this is my job to lose. Let me go out here and just do what I do. I think
That yes.
confidence, and he'll develop as the leader for the offense. I think the leader for the defense is Dallas Turner. And what's 32's name?
Oh my God. Oh my God, Lawson.
Lawson, yeah.
Dante Lawson.
Yeah, Lawson.
And Lawson's a dog to me. You know what I'm saying?
I would go with you on that.
He's
Yes.
a dog now. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how vocal he is, as far as, but he leads by example. He goes out there and he plays.
I love that, man, the aspect and I have that same mindset when it comes to that everything you said. I second that. That goes a long ways. Like I said, having them dogs identifying who they are and moving. Like I said, again, you having to adjust with the times when it comes to Saban, because you definitely he has had to take that different approach. And you can tell it's still a bit of a challenge for him trying to find that sweet spot of when when to do that and when not to do that, and making that more clear. Chris, man, on you. Well, before I get into that, man, I got some stuff. A man, Kenneth, got to be jumping in here. Yo, he talked about. I didn't remember this day when I first got there. He said Bama lost to Vandy. I think what he meant by it's Vandy, Florida, and Southern Miss. What
He
was the
said candy.
tone and what was that practice? That practice like the next week, man. Let's talk about that. And you remember how that went?
I ain't never lose to Vandy.
Yeah. He's like, no, I'm playing.
Hey, I lost to Southern Miss, but I ain't never lose to Vandy.
Okay, because I was like, that's a lower for lowest right there now. Well, okay, so he came the year after what Florida and Southern Miss is still Southern Miss is a team that now they know they had some dog. My brother played at Southern Miss during the 97 to 2000. They had some dogs there.
Ask me who was Southern Miss quarterback.
Ooh.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, that's a Brett. That's that. Yeah,
Brett Favre. Them boys came to play. I mean, shoot, they was bringing the wood too. I think
right.
Freshman, boy, they were banging. I was like, God,
right. People forget that. People forget.
I almost forgot about that.
Yeah, they were bringing that smoke. I'm telling you, the running backs, we were shaking our head like, woo. They bringing it.
Yeah.
Had that mind right. I like it. And for that, man, and this is what I'm talking about for dealing with everything, the expectations, like I said, and Saban Bread to click in and tap in with these players still, even at this stage. One thing about they called him Mean Gene Stallings, like one of the most intimidating cats I don't know I was a kid, but I was like, oh my God, he mean, he's strong.
Oh yeah.
What was it like playing for a coach like that? I mean, how much did the coach set the tone in that locker room, man?
Listen, one day in practice, Steve Buskey was a tight end. He go about 240. He was coming across the middle, and Jay led him out, and Coach Stallings was in the middle of the field. Coach Stallings said, hit him with a sickle. Boom, Buskey went flying back. Coach didn't have any pads on. He said, hell, it was either him or me. So that goes to tell you how tough he was. But we love to play for him because this is what he did. You took care of your business, and he treated you like men. You know what I'm saying? You can come to him and talk to him about anything. But listen here, you got to go to class now. You got to sit in the front room. He wanted you to get a meaningful education. You take care of what you're supposed to take care of, and you had no problems with Coach Stallings. But he was hard-nosed now. He'll tell you straight up and down. We running the ball on first. We running the ball on second. And depending on how far the distance is on third down, we're going to run it on third down. He didn't like to throw the ball. He said 2 things can happen wrong when you throw the ball. Interception and incompletion. He said 1 thing can happen when you run the ball. They stop you. You know what I'm saying? I was like, Coach, we could fumble. He said, yeah, and you'll be sitting next to me.
Pretty simple. So then let's go back to only 1 thing can happen. They can stop it.
Yeah,
so fumble the ball is not in the equation. Don't do that.
Coach was,
Okay.
he was the players' coach, man. We all love Bees.
Oh, that's
We all
good.
love Bees, man.
I love it. I love it, man. So this okay. Again, I'm a segment because I know my dog Chris keep me on tack. He keep me on tack. I got one thing to ask you about
Yeah.
you, man. A '92 team, historic team. We're still one of the best teams in my opinion in college football history for what you guys had on defense and offense. But I remember when you think of the '92 championship team, I think of defense. I think of defense. I mean, y'all had some players, you Palmer, list goes on. But with that being said, is there times where the offense maybe not have been clicking? What was the for you guys from an offense standpoint? You know, the defense doing their thing. How much did that motivates you guys to be like, man, we got we got to get it popping, bro. We can't keep on depending on us. And how much patience did they show with you guys?
Man, we used to say, hey, we score 14 points, it's a W. You know, because we know our defense was that bad. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes the defense will score a touchdown for us, say, go ahead, you only have to score 7 now. You know what I'm saying? That's how tough they were. Listen, we used to go 1-on-1, short yardage and goal line the first couple of weeks in fall practice. 3 fights broke out every time we went ones against one, short yardage and goal line. So we wouldn't go against them no more. And I was like, thank God, because boy, they were bringing the wood. Man, I think we went 3 times. We probably went about 4 or 5 series. We scored 1 time on them. Because he has down the situation. 3rd and 3. You know what I'm saying? We at the goal line. What we gonna do? You know, we try to run the ball, play action pass. If we play action pass, Copeland and Curry got in so fast. You know, so our best bet was try to run. Yeah, and Theo was plugging the hole. Boy, they were bringing the wood. Copeland, Jeremy Nunley, man, their defensive front was James Gregory. They was I hate going against them in practice. I'm telling you, and I consider myself hard. You know, I'm one of them. I mean, I'm gonna bring it all game.
Let's go.
Shoot, but I'd be looking like.
Let me see.
Hey, Shay, come over here. Get you some of this, Sherman.
Like, why y'all ready every day? Like, God dang. Okay, I love it. I love it. So let's segue into another one, guys. Next team, Colorado, man. You know, you had a great win this past week. But I want to kind of put that win in perspective as well. You know, playing against a Colorado team, Colorado State, that they were 23-point favorite in that game and had to push it to double overtime to pull out that victory. It's a team that traditionally they have beat the last 5 times in that rivalry. And so I posed that question. With that being said, you know, I think my man, I think Coach Shadura ended up having 38 for 47, 348 yards passing, 4 TDs and 1 interception, and probably had the biggest drive. What I can call, if you look back, maybe consider a Heisman moment, going 98 yards to go down a touchdown when they needed the most. Now with that performance, they I guess you could say they won the battle, but may have lost the war. You lost Travis Hunter, two-way dog, two-way prime time, modern day. So I asked that going to the toughest part of their schedule with back-to-back top teams in the Pac-12 and Oregon and USC. Are they in trouble? Are they in trouble?
You want
to go? I mean, I start off. Are they in trouble? I would say this is just an adjustment for Coach Prime, but they didn't just get here because of Travis. You know, obviously he's been a threat. He's been a big impact for both sides of the field. But I told you this in the beginning. I said, wait a minute, 150 something snaps. My man, he gonna need to chill back on that just a little bit because I was afraid of something like this happening. Now, granted, you look at that replay. I watched that guy go around his player
to make sure it was intentional.
To make sure, and I was like, a 15 yards just to get it for me. I mean, when you look at that replay, I looked over again, and I was like, man, I said 15 yards just don't get it because this is somebody's career, this is somebody's future, and that ain't how you play ball. Like I in my mindset, I always go out there. I want to hurt somebody, but I ain't want to injure nobody. Uh-huh. It's the difference between hurt and injury. And he went out there to injure him. Yeah. Then the coach saying, "Well, it was on the other side of the field. I don't know what to say about it." It's like, man, come on. But nevertheless, go ahead.
But they preference something about hurting him before the game. So yeah,
That's why I'll say I almost feel like the coach knew what was about to happen, what was going to happen, and he just kind of left it.
He gave him license
and
to it. He gave him license to do it. I'll say that.
Yeah, he gave him license to do it. Yeah, Kenneth, it was definitely personal.
What goes around when you do stuff like that, it'll come back on you. You know what I'm saying? I like playing football. I was a very physical guy, even though I wasn't that big. But there's ways, to play the game within the boundaries of the limits. You know what I'm saying? And you just kind of lose respect for the team and the players when they do stuff like that. The death threats and all that stuff, I don't agree with that. It's like Prime said, it's just the game. But this is an opportunity for a younger guy to step up, while Travis is out. And what it's going to do is build character. When Travis comes back, then they're going to have some more experience and a little more depth. So they got a tough sled, though. It happened at the wrong time. They got Oregon USC coming up.
Terrible time, man. And I think, like I said, terrible time. Like it's kind of some what you guys were saying up when it comes to that. They definitely, like I said, my man Kenneth talking about that was personal. Yeah, it was definitely personal. And I know some people wanted him thrown out, but according to the rules, within the frameworks of the rules, at best they could call was unnecessary roughness, which I think is what they ended up calling. They couldn't throw him out because it wasn't.
Right. Yeah, I was like, it wasn't his helmet.
Yeah, it wasn't a targeting, so it didn't follow the rules of targeting. It's simply like what they do with a quarterback. If they hit your quarterback late, you're gonna call a late hit, unnecessary roughness or whatever on the on a hit, a 15-yard penalty, which is what they gave him. But because there was no swinging and things like that, and like I said, targeting, that's really all they could do within the rules. Now, emotionally, you're like, what the man, get him out of there, But I think if we go back, I know I came from a place where it's called Town Creek. Hazelwood.
Hazelnut. I used to always mess with the Goo Boys. I used to say, Hazelnut, man.
You're like, yeah.
Hazelwood. Yeah.
Leg of down. I've seen a Cortland Hazelwood game where it was like that going on throughout the entire game. It was like, oh my God, what are they doing? They how you living like that? Put them up against the fence, pop, hit them, standing them up, all type of stuff. But of course, that was in the 90s, and you can't do that no more. But that was more of an old school type of game. Still wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? Still want to try to injure somebody, and he took it into today's term, which is shocking. So yeah, that at the end of the day, like the death threats, like you said, that's too much. Like, yo, calm down, chill out, guys.
The thing that impressed me the most about it was how calm the bench stayed, and the person who got in the player's face was the leader, right?
Yes.
So he's the leader. So that's what he's supposed to do, and he didn't have to be told to do it, and everybody else sat down. So, you know what I'm saying?
He was far to take it, not take it.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the reason why I feel like they're okay, because of who they got behind, at quarterback. Who the leader? It's obvious.
Dog. Yeah.
When it's time to level up, he levels up, and he keeps it. He keeps it cool, calm, collected. But he will be vocal when it's time to be vocal. Other than that, he gonna show you better than he can tell you.
He got, like Deion said, I wanted the ball first because I wanted to put it in my son's hand. He has to be as modest as possible. He knows what he has there in his son, but he doesn't want to be too braggadocious about his son. So he deflects some of the attention to the what's the guy that got hurt?
Travis
Hunter. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Travis is a great player. He's probably the best player in the team. He's probably going to get drafted higher than anybody else. But his son is something special. His son is
facts. He truly is. Now, did we really? No. Now I'll go to the next one. Besides the fact that he's injured, do we really feel that? I believe in Colorado. I'm riding with him. I'm gonna ride with Prime. I'm a Prime. I've been a Prime guy since forever. I'm a big Florida State guy. But are we really? Did that Colorado State game yesterday escape with a win? It would have been terrible if they wouldn't, with all the stuff that was going on, all the celebrities they had there, Lil Wayne coming out performing. But I believe they actually had a legitimate chance at beating Oregon, because what they put against Texas Tech to me was very lackluster. Like, what y'all looking ahead? What is going on? So I believe they have a legitimate chance even without Travers. Again, I don't want to look ahead, but we can because we're not the players. USC. I don't know about that with USC because from why I say that, because you can't afford a slow start like they did against Nebraska, against no USC Caleb Williams. No, sir, at all. They blowing the doors off you real quick. You also can't have a performance like they had against Colorado State, who is a team that was one of the only victories they had last year, and that team hasn't improved from this year. But for them to have to go double overtime and a team they were 23.5 points favorite, it begs me to wonder, can all these is some of the celebrity status and all everybody coming there to the games and have to entertain this person that, because when they come to see primetime, they come to be entertained. Shannon Sharp, they want to be entertained. They want to have their time with Stephen A. And some of the players having to deal with, oh, I'm seeing Drake on the sideline, I'm seeing Cameron on the sideline, I'm seeing this and that. Is it really overwhelming? Is it too much for them?
I think it's a coaching point for. I think Prime is doing it on purpose, because I mean, if you can't handle it now at a game like Colorado State, what make you think you're gonna be able to handle the Pac-12 championship?
Yeah.
My point exactly.
You know, yeah, but that's why the fact that they still pulled through,
Mm-hmm.
and they got Oregon next. I promise you, all of the starry eyes and all that stuff that the players was going through with everything. I bet you that they're gonna have a new type of mental toughness and focus going into this game coming up.
Is that game in Oregon or is that game in Colorado?
It's away from Oregon. I think that's the best thing. It's at Oregon. I think that's the best thing for them.
Yeah. See, I like Oregon's chances better than I think it's a better matchup with USC than Oregon.
Okay.
Oregon's defense is pretty tough. USC's defense is slow. So I think it's going to be a gun.
You say call it slow.
Yeah, he did.
I think it's going to be a gunfight between the quarterbacks, and Shakur he's going to step it up. Shador is going to step it up because hey, this is the Heisman Trophy winner, and his dad's going to tell the offensive coordinator, "Let my boy go, let them boys go." You know what I'm saying? So I think it's going to be one of those games. Whoever gets the ball last is going to win. Whereas Oregon, their defenses, they know how to run the ball, so they can play keep away and things of that nature. So, but I do.
So what kind of game you think Bo Nix gonna have then?
Well, they got to contain Bo Nix because Bo Nix he can give you some problem with his legs.
Switch arm and knife.
If they keep him in the pocket and force him to beat him with his arm, I think they stand a better chance. But if he starts running around and doing all that creative stuff, he almost beat us one year.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
No, that's
right. I think his mechanics, like, he remind me of Tebow sometimes. By the way, he be winding the ball up.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, he got the legs, so it's almost, if they don't contain, that's when it gets bad with Nix.
You know what?
Because he does know how to create some plays.
One thing about that I speak of Shadura, if he kind of closes down, that I am very impressed about and I love about him is Shadura is not wild. At least he hasn't wowed me with his athletic ability. He's not. When I look at Shadura, no, he's a true quarterback. Right. He's a true passer. Yeah, this guy ain't finna get out and scramble. He ain't finna be he ain't no Lamar Jackson. You ain't getting none of that out of him.
Yeah,
that's not. He can do when he have to, but you can see this guy literally. He knows how to go through this progression. He understands the game, which speaks highly on his IQ and his ability to go through the progression. How he's been trained by his father. And I like that more because so many times you see it. Oh, he athletic guy uses legs. It can be true, but I'm like, man, but he's a true quarterback.
Again, he's had it all his life. He's trained with Tom Brady. He's trained with a couple of other professional quarterbacks.
Before then, yes.
That was, and he said, "Man, you think I'm gonna be all upset because Deion Prime is my dad? No, I'm gonna take advantage of it."
I was born with that. So, yeah. I love it. I love it, man. Look, we got to go into it. We got to be shutting it down and everything. I had a question I had to ask you. That's what I had asked. Now, this is a little off the topic. So anyway, real quick, we got it broken down, guys. Our top 5 real quick. So my top 5, looking into it. Better yet, we ain't going to get into that. We'll leave the top 5 alone right now. I got to get into a personal question I've had for you. You, at that time, you made famous football celebration. The
Fred
Sanford. How did you come on? Of course, we know where it came from, but what sparks you to do that in the game? Classic. Where that come from? What's up?
I do not know. I just, you get into the end zone. It's, it's hard to get in the end zone. People don't realize how hard it is to score. So when you get in there, you having a big one. You know what I'm saying? People say we had an offense that didn't score many touchdowns. So I guess we're giving people heart attacks because we scored. You know? So yeah. You know what question you said you're gonna ask me about Emmett and me feeling it for Emmett and having the Milrose thing.
Got you. Yes. So
it was tough, but I was drafted, right? And my expectation was to come in and back up Emmett. Then I find out he's holding out. So then they bring other running backs in, veteran running back, and I kind of beat them out. So they felt comfortable enough with me going into it. No, was I Emmitt Smith? No, but as they said, I had the potential to be a good running back in professional level. So I did everything I could. I got in my books, learned everything. I try to make as least mistakes as possible. Of course, defense is going to send all kind of creative, exotic blitzes against me because I'm a rookie. But I think I held my own. The first game, our defense, we really didn't, do anything. So I understand how Buckner felt and Ty Simpson felt when they got in the game after the quarterback was in and, so much expectation. But the difference was I was replacing an all-pro Hall of Famer. They were replacing somebody who was trying to
establish himself.
Position. Yeah, establish himself. Yeah. So I think that was the major difference. But it's still, you want to do your best. So sometimes you don't relax and you're too tense. And I think, he had a bad showing, but I think he was more tense. And this is Alabama. Oh my God. He came from Notre Dame, but Notre Dame hasn't been relevant in years. Yeah. So it's a different beast when you put on that crimson and white.
And I agree with that, man. That's what and you played for America. You was on America's team, so it didn't get any bigger being on that stage. Did you, in your mind at that time, did you feel like, hey, I know when Emmett comes back, it's his position, but I want to be able to. I want to not be like, dang, it's Emmett and it's way down here, or like, okay, I'm playing for another contract. I'm playing for the chance to make sure I solidify myself as the backup at worst case scenario. So did you feel any pressure to make sure you perform? Because again, you were following the footsteps of a Super Bowl that you was the first rookie to ever start for a team at running back following a Super Bowl. So what type of pressure was that mentally for you? Or were you too young to realize it?
I mean, football's football. I played football all my life, but that's the first time I had to sit down and use the bathroom before a game. You know what I'm saying? It was Monday Night Football. We're playing Washington Redskins. Opening date of football, of the football season.
Yeah.
But what gave me the confidence, because you kind of, can I do it? Our last preseason was against Chicago Bears. I had a pretty good game. I had a couple of pretty good scrimmages against other NFL teams. Dave Wannstedt tried to trade for me before the season started. So my agent's like, well, Chicago was trying to trade for you, but Dallas said no because you're going to be their guy going into going into the season. So that gave me some confidence. Me and Emmett had different style. We looked the same a lot. A lot of time when people watch the film, when we watch the film, they're like, damn, you guys look alike. But I was faster and quicker than Emmett. And in our system in Alabama, they came off the line. You hit the hole fast, but I had to adjust to zone blocking. That's a different kind of running. You have this more timing and taking a path and things of that nature. So my second year, the year I got hurt, man, I was killing them in practice. It was, the boys said, damn, boy. They used to say, boy, you quicker than a squirrel. Defense, the defense be like, man, take it easy, take it out. Like, nah, as soon as I take it easy, y'all going to light me up.
Facts.
So, the second, they had plays where me and Emmett were going to be in the backfield at the same time, where Emmett was the fullback, I was the tailback, and I swing out, and they fake the ball to Emmett, throw it to me on the swing pass because I was so fast. I was second fastest on the team. Kevin Williams was the fastest. I ran a 4.29 when I was at Dallas. AccuTrack 4.29. At my pro day, I ran a 4.33. People didn't realize how fast I was. So
no, not at all. I
didn't know.
I never thought you were slow or anything. But what?
I had the fastest 40 time on our team. Faster than Kevin Lee. Faster than Pierre Gould. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. They'll tell you.
I wish Pierre was on here so bad because he don't like to admit none of that.
I said you may give me in 100, but you damn sure ain't gonna give me in the 40.
Okay. This is my last one going here, because what Bama is now with the Saban thing, you can know it's the era, that dynasty.
Yeah.
Starling was maybe what he wasn't. It was Ray Perkins. See, he wasn't too many years in by the time you got there, right? He came in '90.
Yeah, he was there my second year. Yeah, my second year, which was '90. Coach
Okay,
Curry coached me my freshman and redshirt freshman year. Coach Stallings came in my redshirt sophomore year.
so this guy, you came away from New York,
Yeah.
where first of all, how they even find you? What was it about Alabama that drew you all the past Ohio State, the Notre Dame, the Michigan, everybody that gets you down to University of Alabama? What was the allure for you,
But
even back then?
it was two things. One, my dad being from Alabama. Alabama's his favorite team. He's from Montgomery area, like the country.
Okay, the
That has,
gum.
yeah.
What a cheers there, y'all. What a
Yeah,
cheers
yeah,
there.
yeah. So, and then another thing, when I went to Alabama, I took visits to Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, Syracuse, Penn State. You know, those guys they kind of did their own thing. When I went to Alabama, they were like brothers. It was like a family. They did everything together. They had a cookout. You know, just the guys. You know, they threw stuff on a
Yeah,
grill and they partied.
yeah. Everybody eat. Let's go.
And that's what I came from. I come from a big family, and we did stuff together. So I just fell in love with the vibe, the Bama had, man. And to this day, we're still close. I talked to Eric Curry. I talked to Prince. I talked to
Okay.
Dirty Harry, Rick Brown.
Hold up, man. You gotta give us some names. We don't know who Dirty Harry now. Who was Dirty?
Stacey Harrison, number one.
Okay, he could all the nicknames. He's like, I feel you, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Stacey Harrison.
Right. The public don't know.
Yeah, he gets mad when I say that because he's from Atlanta, and most of his friends don't know. We called him Dirty Harry. We called him Dirty Harry because he'll hit you, he blindside you when you're not looking. Case in point, we're in the scrimmage. The play's over. We're nowhere near the play. I think I'm a redshirt freshman. He just bam. Woo! Right? I was like, damn, he said, keep your head on swivel, freshman. You know
Young
what I'm saying?
boy.
He said, never let your guard down. I said, okay, all right, dirty son of a
Yeah. You know what it is.
those players, man.
I love it, man. The brotherhood of last, man. Like I'm gonna tell you as we close down, man. It's been to have you on this show, get a chance to have you on this platform as you came on talking different comments and stuff like that, and for you to be on here, man, nothing short of to me exemplifying the brotherhood. Like I said, you played a year before I came there, but I remember watching you play. I remember supporting the team and everything, and so you got your Bama shirt on now, man. The B Sci-Fi, and I think I don't care what nobody says. I think. Yeah.
I had another one named, and we had the B Sci-Fi on it. Yeah.
Do you remember the B Sci? Did y'all have B Sci-Fi week?
Man, B Sci-Fi to the day we die. What you talking about, man?
For life, baby.
Don't play for Bama. You ain't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Look, I'm bringing it up for not just to, of course, to reminisce go down a memory lane, but to introduce how important and why that brotherhood, man. I think a lot of with the NIL deal, with so much going on in social media, everybody have their own brand. The brand that matters the most, man. I think the best thing they did was they brought the brand back this off season. With the B Sci-Fi, try to get someone else to introduce them to that, and I think that's going to be a very key to continue this dynasty era that we have been in with Alabama, man, and how much that impacted so many of our lives. Like to me, to this day, that is a chant that I know. No matter what, my man Kenneth, there you go. No matter what, we can say it's Sci-Fi. I done been in New York one time, like, yo, I see somebody Sci-Fi.
Yeah.
They turn around. They know what's up. You know what I'm saying? It's automatic brotherhood, it's all automatic family, man. And I think that is so major in this time right now where these kids got to bury their head in the sand and focus on, look straight ahead, focus on each other, knowing this is a brotherhood at Alabama, And
looking, I could go to Clemson and say Sci-Fi. About 3 or 4 of them going to turn around.
Facts.
Included.
Yeah.
Dabo, you know what I'm saying?
They might not want to, but
Dabo, Lamassey Hall,
Zhao.
Mickey Khan. I mean, we say brotherhood. It's a brotherhood. I mean, blacks, whites. I mean,
everything.
White guy got in trouble and somebody messing with him. We all came out of that dorm. We was all coming.
Point blank period. And that's why I say it goes so deep, man. Oh, I'm gonna bet Kenneth is going in.
Kenny Lee, boy, DV X Clan. Mark McMillan started that the X Class. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mark
Okay.
came from
Okay.
Cali. Listen, my roommate, they roomed us together, and it's the best thing that ever happened to me in my life because we became like brothers. His name was Charles Gardner. He's from Carson, California. He started as a freshman, safety, and they put us together as roommates, you know, because I'm from New York and he was from California, and it's just like a match made in heaven, peanut butter and jelly.
That's what it is, man. That's what it is, man. So, like I said, guys, this is that sci-fi, man. Kiddom's League, man. You chatting on here. We're gonna have this get you on here, man. We talking football. I appreciate you guys for joining in. Like I said, I'm not gonna keep us much longer. I know gotta get to the bed. I know my man out in the East Coast time last, so I know it's a little later for you as well. So I want to tell you how much I appreciate you coming on to the E36 Unfiltered platform, taking that time out your day to be a part of it. Continue to support it, guys. If you want to continue to support, go subscribe to our YouTube page. Like I said, here on Facebook, and like I said, also on Spotify, Anchor Podcast, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, everything in between, man. So without further ado, any last words that you, Bo Freeland? That was my kick. I gotta show him. Bo, what up? Sci-Fi, what's up, man? He's jumping in here. Bo Freeland was our partner. My freshman year, I was red shirted. He was my roommate in the hotel. You know what I'm saying? all the video games.
Hotel roommates, yeah.
Huh?
Them hotel roommates.
Yeah, the hotel. Hey, you gotta have the right one now. You got the right hotel roommate to help you keep. Hey, it's time to get up, man. Let's go. You know, yeah. I needed that because I want to sleep.
Mine was Terrence Lynch. I'll never forget. Boy, that was my dude. Ride or die. He Lynch. Up there.
Yeah. Hazel, as you say, hazelnut.
Yeah.
part of the whole crew, man. That's what. Yes, that's like I said, man. That stuff goes for lifetime, man. Like I see every time I see Bo coming around, popping up, I'm shouting out, man. So good to see you, man. Everybody, you can go ahead and sign on body here. We are past our time, but I make sure I want to show love to my brothers, man. Again, Derrick, you have any last words?
No, thanks for having me, man. I enjoyed it. You know, I enjoyed getting together with brothers and talking about some positive stuff with all the negativity in this world today. You know, if you don't have a relationship with the Most High God, you need to get one because, you know, the signs are showing, you know, so get right.
Real talk. Chris, what about yourself, man? You got anything for us?
Same as usual, like Derrick said, man. Hey, we love the show because of what we breaking down, but you know, the positivity, you know, this is what we need. This is what we need on air. You know, this is what the public need to see. You know, and then even with this right here, just the brotherhood, camaraderie, everybody coming together. It's just a good time. So you know, till the next time.
Yes, sir.
That's what it is. All right, man. You guys be good. Jeff Winstead, what's up? My old high school teammate. Much love, guys. We out of here. Y'all have a blessed night. And you know, always said, go prime time, go buff. But roll tide to the day we die, baby. We here. We out.
Third,
right.
Okay.
36 Unfiltered, aka the Unfiltered Room with Mr. E. Gray. Introducing all the latest names in the latest news. Hottest take, he the new face, yeah, the new sound. But keep it old school and raw interviews from local athletes, even digging off and entertaining.